Welcome to the show, Outlier Show. Your host Rizwan Rashid is here tonight with another Outlier. And this Outlier, my friend, is a Reiki Master, practitioner, and Guinness Book of World Record Holder. Yes, she's a multi-award-winning, best-selling author of children's book series called Honeycake. This series is based on all positivity in a world of negativity, especially in this COVID-19, when social distances and self-isolation putting adult mind at ease. I'm sure kids are feeling the same way. So this book series will give a lot of help and resources to our kids. This book series come well equipped with the valuable life lessons for children, giving children tools to overcome obstacles and adversities. Her saying is, no matter where we come from, what color, where we are, one race, one human being. And this all discussion will be all diversity and inclusion. Please help me welcome my guest, Medea Kalantar. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited and honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Medea, it is an honor to me
so excited.
For have you over here. I know we have this a lot of discussion before, but tonight is a special discussion. There's a lot of we want to discuss about this Honeycake book series. But as an outlier, I always wanted to ask one question, and one question start from here. How do you describe yourself as an outlier?
So I describe myself as an outlier because even though I have no formal education or formal experience of being a writer, that didn't stop me from fulfilling my mission in life to promote multicultural diverse families, to instill valuable life lessons to children. Because as a child, I always envisioned myself to be a teacher. And for some reason, it didn't work out that way because life got in the way with other things. But here I am, so many years later, that I am actually teaching children these valuable life lessons through my story. So in one way, it's a full circle moment for me because I'm actually doing what I always envisioned, which was to teach children, because children are so malleable. And if we teach these valuable life lessons to children at an early age, they can grow up to be more accepting, more kind, and more well-balanced human beings. So I'm living my soul purpose in life. And I feel so blessed to be doing my soul purpose. And how it all started is very funny, is that in 2018, my daughter Shanaz told me she was pregnant. And I was so excited that I was going to become a grandmother that I started to bake a honey cake. And a honey cake is a traditional cake from our family whenever there's celebrations going on. So while I was making the cake, and I was thinking of all the different rich ingredients in the cake, like cloves and coffee and cinnamon and nutmeg, I was thinking of my future grandchild, because here I am. I'm from Georgia. My husband's Persian, but my son-in-law Brandon is Guyanese and Jamaican. So my grandchild's going to be a correlation, just like this cake, of all these rich spices and ingredients. So I thought about it and I said, you know what? There are no books out there that showcase a multicultural, diverse family like mine. And for some reason, I woke up the next day and I just started to write. And I had no inspirations to be a writer. It just happened. I was like, it was almost like I was transmitted these messages, and it was just funneling through me. And it was like the universe showed me the way to do it. And I wrote 5 books in 4 days. And I had no clue how I was going to get these books out. I just knew that these messages were in me and I had to share them. And that's how the title of the series came, Honeycake. That means that, we're all a little bit of spice. We all have a little bit of spice inside of us, no matter where we come from, like you said, or what color our skin is. We're all one race, and that's the human race. And that's the beauty of my stories and my books. And yeah, that's how it all came about, and that's how it tied together.
Boom. Here she is. Here's Medea. Have you seen her passion? Have you seen her tenacity? When she's describing, she's all in. I love it. I love it. This is real you. This is what really people want to see it. So one thought, one idea, one opportunity of this whole Honeycake series comes in, and you wrote 5 books in 4 days. That's probably another Guinness Book of World Record.
For someone who has no education, I had no inspiration to be a writer. I had no formal training. And the thing was, like, I had to know, and the other thing was, I would never be in front of people before. I didn't never spoke in front of people. I was always shy to, talk in front of people. And here I am, in every platform, spreading my message, because the message is so powerful that I believe I was chosen for a reason. And there was a reason I had these stories in me. So, what I had to overcome was fear of failure, fear of putting myself out there, the fear of that. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just knew that I had to go out, and I had no coach, no mentor. I just made it happen. I don't know how, but I did. I made it.
When you're true passionate as a coach, I always talk about, when you're true passion, when you're aligned with your why, and everything will comes in. The how is not there.
Absolutely. When you're authentically doing something because you love it and you really are, true to yourself, it all automatically unfolds itself. Somehow the universe makes it work. Absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely. So at that time, when you're writing all these books and pouring your heart out, you knew this is going to be new life, new way of thinking, a new horizon, new trajectory as an identification as an author?
Because I felt like, when you get that feeling that this was the reason I was put on earth for, that this is my sole purpose. This is my sole purpose in life. I always, like I said, when I was a child, I always envisioned to be a teacher, and I knew there was a way. And I always believed that children are our future, and that, if we instill these valuable lessons at an early age, that we can change the universe in a positive direction. So in the first book, if you like, you can see that this is actually my entire family. Like, that's me. That's the cartoon version of me, my husband, and then my son-in-law, and my daughter Shanaz. The only fictional character was Nala, because I wrote the books while my daughter was pregnant, and I didn't know what she was going to have. She ended up having a little boy. His name is Lucanzo. And but the stories are beautiful. Like in the first book, the grandmother is introducing Nala to, and explaining to her why she calls her honey cake, and she's explaining through imagination how each delicious ingredient in the honey cake represents a different family member with her or his unique ethnic background. So here's a beautiful book that's teaching children about diversity, but in a fun, cute way that children can understand. And at the back of the book, there's a recipe. You can make your own honey cake with your children. So there's a metaphor of the cake, but again, the message is that no matter where you come from, what color your skin is, we're all one race, and that's the human race. So this book is teaching about acceptance, about diversity, that we're all one. And of course, it's also including family activities like baking, right? Because we forget about doing things with our children. It's always about TV or the iPod or the PlayStation or the Xbox. We need to bring that unity of family back to, back in our lives, because we kind of lost that. We had that when we were children.
I'm listening to you. You're all about others. You have this noble thought of helping, educating, supporting, motivating kids to come out of these adversities and live a positive life. Especially if you're equipping with these tools. This is the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to us, you actually just witnessed how a person who became an author, became a life-changing for kids, came from one opportunity, one thought, and she capitalized on it. And then she put herself in front of more opportunities, opened more doors for her. This is how the snowball effect happened. For the benefit of our viewers, if you can share with us, everybody wants to know, now they already probably know you, they already follow you, understand you, they want to read the books. What was the first step? If you can recall that from your memory bank, what is the first step when you're writing this book, you're recording it? There's a lot of different ways as an author. And there are people who wanted to be an author. What is first step they should do?
So the first step I did was that I knew that I couldn't go the traditional route, because the traditional route to find an agency or a publication company, I wanted to have full control of my vision. I didn't want anyone to tell me how the book should be, how they should be laid out. Because every part of this book, from the illustration, from the story, the way it was laid out, it's all me. I put it to vision. So what I did was I started interviewing people for illustrators. I started to look into hybrid publishing companies where you pay, but they do the design and you own everything. So I own full copyright. I have full control over my books, but they did the distribution and all that. So I did the research first. So I went with Towell first, and they're in BC. And that's how I did it. And the other thing that I thought of, because it was very expensive, because it was like almost $6,000 to do one of these books. So I had another idea. I thought, what if I found a sponsor that they could put at the back of the book for lifetime, a little blurb about their company. This way I'm also helping a company, and also they're promoting their company worldwide forever and ever. So that offset the cost of my book. So I found a way, so I didn't have to take that money to have the financial impact, because I still had to put money into marketing and all that, but it would have been way too much money to invest.
A great advice for a person who actually went through this and doing this. Before we go in on a short break, I wanted to ask you how many books of Honeycake series?
So right now I have 4 published books. So they're like, this is the 3rd book. It's called Special Magical Powers. So this is teaching children the powers they have inside, which is kindness. And then the 4th book is called A Circle of Trust. So building a foundation of trust. So teaching children that they can come to their parents and talk to them about anything. So honest and open communication is safe space. The 5th book is coming out in September. It's in production right now. It's called Counting All My Blessings, because it's teaching to children about gratitude. Because teaching these life lessons, that gratitude, you can't focus on everything you don't have in life, but teaching children that let's focus on what we do have in life, not the latest iPod, not the latest iPhone, not materialism, because this world is so filled with materialistic, people wanting so much, but let's focus on what we do have, because we're so blessed and we have so many miracles that happen to us every day. So that's the 5th book that's coming out in September.
The teaching of gratitude. Parents are going to love you, Medea, because that's where most kids need it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to take a short break, and we'll be right back, because we just about to start it in order to understand what was first opportunity. Medea find her first opportunity, capitalize on it, how she became an author, and she became a Guinness Book of World Record Holder. Before we go on a break, HoneyCakebooks.com is her website to know all about that. Don't go away. We'll be right back at the Outlier show. We will continue a conversation with Medea Kalantar about what's her next venture, what she's doing new. Welcome back, and welcome back to the Outlier show. Your host Rizwan, and my guest is Medea Kalantar, an author who is working with the kids book series HoneyCake Books, and she already knows she has about 5 books almost out there, and she has beautiful books for kids, teaching of gratitude, teaching of giving, creating that trust. And I'm already very inspired by thought process and how you're impacting others, and especially kids and families and society in general. Medea, I'm going to ask you this. What is your newest venture? Where are you going there? What is the newest book? What is a new thing happening in your life?
Yes, absolutely. So we touched about this. The 5th book is called HoneyCake Counting All My Blessings, and that's coming out in September, and it's teaching children how important gratitude it is, because in life, we get sucked into this materialistic world where we just expect that the latest technology or the newest toy or the newest gadget is what we need to be grateful for. But this book is teaching about the wonderful things we do have. We have a family, we have a roof, we have water, clean water to, drink and bathe in. I'm able to breathe, and then also things that we have to be grateful for is when things go wrong in our life, because no one teaches that, because it's when things go wrong in your life is where the greatest lessons are learned, and that's what shapes you to be who you are. And that's what the book is doing, is teaching children the importance of gratitude, to be thankful, not when things are only going right, but when things are not going right, and how important that to learn at an early
Powerful.
age.
Wow. Now, we are going to this. You're touching all great points. You talk about magical points, gratitude, blessing, trust. Do you think you are giving an opportunity to kids to really understand how their parents are going through and how they can interact with them, with their peers too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, these are core values. And even though it's technically a children's book, it's also a little secret message to parents to remind them of the core values that maybe, we get all sucked up in this life of working jobs and all the busyness of hustling children from one event to another or whatever. And we forget about the core values. So when you sit down and you read this book with your child, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is important information. So teaching children these valuable lessons of acceptance, of compassion, of kindness, of open and honest communication, of, gratitude. These are little foundations that we're building on for children at a young age. So by the time they get older, they're stable, they're strong, they're healthy, happy children that grow up to be healthy, happy adults and well balanced. Same thing with the mindfulness, teaching children how to overcome anxiety and stress. So all of this is working towards, especially what's going on in the world right now with COVID, all the stress that's going on. So, the stress of, am I going to be sick when I go back to school? Do I have to worry about other children? Or when I go to the store, all this anxiety that's building up, it's also helping with the second book with Help, I Saw the Butterflies, teaching children how to overcome, anxiety and stress. But then all at the same time, with parents not able to take the kids to school, these books are giving these valuable life lessons. So they can sit with their children knowing that they're not only reading a story that's a fairy tale, but they're reading a story that's actually going to teach them very valuable, positive messages. Because with all the negativity and all the chaos that's going on in the world, the HoneyCake Book Series is giving a glimmer of positivity and hope when it's much needed right now.
Folks, if you are listening, and I'm off camera talk with her. We were talking about basic concept behind that honey cake, and coming all the different bees coming from the extracting different thing and coming together and creating a honey. So it's not children books. It is for us as parents, as adults, in this big world, especially in Canada, North America, where different culture, different races, different religions come together, creating a one nation, one bond, and one race, as human race, as Medea says. This is Medea is very strong, powerful. Where are we going next? As the HoneyCakebooks.com has a lot of information. How do the school, how the library can contact you, how you can help them and getting these books in the hand of the kids?
Absolutely. So I'm really excited to announce that I've actually became a collaborator with a new online movement called I Dare You to Be. And it's an online movement to develop kids to be kinder. So with everything that's going on with COVID, they actually implemented free resources for children and parents. So children from the age of senior kindergarten to the age of 18, and even resources for parents like parenting tips and cooking tips, or even for teachers, where they get to go on. So right now they have a free summer program that they get to go on, and kids can learn math, English, whatever there is, because they're not able to go in the classroom right now. So I collaborated with them. I'm going to be doing story time once a week, every Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30. And they're also going to be involving taking my books because they are connected with the school board system with 230 different school boards, I believe, and they're going to be introducing my books as part of the curriculum. So we're trying to get these books into the school system, into the libraries, because when I did a lot of shows and book readings at schools prior to COVID, teachers and vice principals came to me, we need books just like yours, because whenever we do have diversity week at school, the only books we had was about animals, all the different animals. So this was the perfect, so this was the perfect thing that they actually showcase, like Persian and Jamaican Guyanese and Georgian and all these different ethnicities. And then children can relate and say, oh my God, that's like my family. I'm a honey cake. I'm a little bit of spice, you know? And that's the beauty of this thing, is that no matter where you come from, like I said, you know, we're all one race, but children can relate. They have something that shows that there's a book just like their family. And how beautiful is that? That they feel that they're included, that they don't feel like they're segregated or separated, that there's an inclusion of that there's families just like them. And there's a word called honey cake, that they can just say, I'm a honey cake, I'm a little bit of spice.
I'm sure they are. Medea, when you talk to these schools and kids, and doing a lot of events, you probably have a lot of success stories when kids or parents or adults come in. You must have aha moments.
So I had so many parents especially, tell me that they wish they had these books when they were growing up, because there's so many life lessons in there. You know, like I said, not only that it's showcasing diverse multicultural families, but again, the valuable life lessons that you learn. Like, you know, like we touched upon, like with the, Help I Swallow the Butterfly, children never get really introduced to mindfulness. You know, we have to learn how to overcome anxiety and stress, because this is a stressful time in life. You know, there's so much going on out there. There's so much chaos. But if we teach children at an early age, how to, manage their emotions by going within, taking some deep breaths, whether they're stressed or they're angry, learning how to control their emotions, will become more balanced and happier and healthier children. So they said they wish they had books like this, not only because it's showcased, because they're also a little bit of mix of everything, but the fact that these books were teaching them the life lessons that that's so important. And like I said, building that strong foundation at an early age. And that's why I chose to go with children, because children are our future. And if we can shift the universe in a positive direction by, teaching kids these lessons, I think it's the most important thing. I truly believe it.
I believe that too, because kids are our future. And as we help them, me and you connected, we can see how we can, from especially me as an immigrant and yourself, immigrant, move from one country to another. No matter what the condition was, is improve the life, financial condition. But we also wanted to look for our kids to grow within this society, within this culture. And with this inclusion comes very handy, especially in North America, to just bloom. Medea, how do you get these books out to everybody? Do they have to go to website? Do they have to go to Barnes and Nobles or anywhere else, or they directly go through your website?
So my books are available worldwide, first of all. So you can go on Amazon, Indigo, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Target. But all the links, if you go to HoneyCakeBooks.com, each book has a link. So it'll take you directly to wherever you need to go. So that's how you can get the book anywhere. So it doesn't matter what country you live in, the books are available. I do hope my next plan is to translate the books in different languages, because right now it's only in English, but I hope that that's my next step, because I would love to have these books that, if people can't learn how to read or speak English, they're still able to have the messages of the story in their own language. So that's my next chapter. That's my next venture, because I truly believe that the whole world can benefit from these books. And it'll get there. So the school part is working with I Dare You to Be. That's how I'm doing that. And then there's another project I can't really talk about that will be even more of a global scale to reach people around the world. So that's a little side project.
Well, with COVID-19, we are all become captive of the weariness. Will this book series for the kids could be the beam of light?
Yes. So the thing is, like with COVID-19 that's going on, I felt like it was a blessing in disguise. I truly do, because there's this one thing that everybody always wanted, and that was time. People say, if I had time, I would do this, I would do that. Well, you were given this gift of time. You got to have time with your family. You got to have time to maybe do a self-learning for yourself, maybe learn something new, or maybe go in and work on your own self. Like with me as myself as a Reiki Master practitioner, I help a lot of people. I've been helping a lot of frontline workers, and I've been offering my service with Reiki energy healing via Facebook Live or however I do it to help people. So you were given this gift of time. What are you going to do with it? You have to make a difference in this world. You have to seize every opportunity. So whether it is spending more time with your family and reading these wonderful stories, or working on your own self, take the time and utilize it somehow, or go with a wonderful coach like you, and help them elevate, work with a coach, work with a mentor, do something that, that's outside your comfort zone, because when we're comfortable, we get stuck in their little security blanket, is when we know we're not going to be moving forward in life. You have to be uncomfortable in life to move forward, because that's how we grow and that's how we get better in life. Because I sure was uncomfortable. I didn't know what I was doing, but I made it work, and look at the impact I'm making on the world. And that's my greatest joy, that I'm making an impact and I'm making a difference in this world.
I'm into that, because you are making the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, Medea Kalantar have a great book series, an amazing author, a specific book for kids who are making a difference for kids and adults in general, and your kids only. We are coming to the end of the show. I want you to leave with one message who is going to keep elevated, keep inspired our audience for you, so you can lead that passion with that. What's the message you want to leave with our audience?
So I have this very sweet story. It's called the Starfish Story. And it's about this gentleman that's walking down the beach, and he sees this young boy who's picking up something off the ground and very gently throwing it back to the water. When he approaches the boy, he says, "What are you doing, young man?" And the boy said, "There was a high tide last night, and all the starfish washed up on the shore, and I'm throwing them back in the water, or else they will die." The man laughed at him and said, "Do you know there's miles and miles of beach? You're not going to make any difference." The boy bent down, picked up the starfish, threw it back in the water, and smiled and politely said, "I made a difference to that one." So in life, we all have the ability to make a difference. Together, we can make a change. So we all have a story inside of us, because you never know that your story might be someone else's survival guide.
What? I can't top that. This is true story, true meaning, deep meaning, in fact. And Medea is the one who exactly taking out these stars and throwing back into this, giving them new life, new vision. I'm glad to have you on our show as my guest, enlightening everybody, sharing all the information, and making everybody part of the honey cake. This is Outlier Show, where we're bringing in a new outlier. Bye.